Yeah, I saw everything that was there. I saw everything that transpired, and I was fully aware of what was going on. For those who kept asking me, yes, I'm quite aware of what the situation is outside. Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted on all charges today. You say you saw this coming. Yeah, I think a few people did too. I talked about it last night. I told you they already had this decision in place because I saw the cars out here, police on high alert yesterday, on Thursday, flying. And they were getting ready to secure different locations because they were getting ready for the verdict that they already knew was coming. They sat on it for 2 days to try to exhaust the crowds who was out there waiting because they knew that they were deliberating. So they can now. And then here comes Friday, boom, the decision is rendered before most of the people even was up for the afternoon. See, if they'd have did this in the afternoon, it'd probably been now they prepared in case things get a little crazy. Defend himself, and he was being attacked, and I don't really know because the camera angles show you somebody was armed and approaching and coming after this person. What happened? Now, I'm not saying he's no American hero, nothing crazy like that. His ground, it was self-defense. Okay, if you say this guy stood his ground and it was self-defense, now what you just said with this verdict, if a black man has an automatic assault rifle and he's outside and some people run up on him and he pop him, he should go home. Now let that be known, you just made that okay. If this is self-defense, if Kyle Rittenhouse was Kyle Jackson and he had a fro or some doggone braids, would all these people be saying this is singing the same song right about now? I don't think they would. Cause I'm finna say now, if I get my AR-10 and I go start walking down the street and somebody run up and I take them down, pop, 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 pop. They gonna be, hey, you can't do that. Hey, Rittenhouse, don't come near me. So I'm protecting myself, self-defense. So for everybody who's saying, oh, black folks is mad about this and black folks is mad because they know that if they were in this situation, it would be a whole different scenario. They know they're not getting the self-defense now. So that's why black folks are mad. Black folks are gonna be like, man, this is some bull. Because if this was us, because we already know. So it's the double standard that has the black folks upset. What's good for the goose is supposed to be good for the gander. So if they say this is the verdict and this is the law, okay. This is the rule, and this is now the law. So because it's the rule and the law now, because you just made it, what I don't want to hear what I don't want to hear What's up, Cassie? See, this is where Jason Whitlock and others seem to not understand. See, Whitlock loved to point out the fact because he likes to fan the flames. I'm just saying, when a black guy do this, I don't want to hear about it. If we got an AR-15 and we marching down the street and people run up on us and we start popping them, I don't want them to say nothing about we can't do it. Just know it's going to be self-defense and let them go home. Then we're going to see who get outraged. And then when they get outraged, we're going to be like, why y'all mad? Y'all got Rittenhouse. Y'all wasn't mad when Rittenhouse did it. So they got to swallow it. So black folks, you always want to know why we're mad and upset. I'll tell you. Black folks get mad at the double standard. Because we already know if Rittenhouse was Kyle Jackson, how this case would go. Self-defense wouldn't even be in the option. He'd have claimed that in court and would have lost. You know it. I know it. The whole world knows it. It'd be like, Kyle Jackson, come on down. Yeah. The court and the jury and your peers find you guilty on all charges. Oh, man. You got to go to appeal, which you will lose. Same footage and anything. What do I need to watch the case for? I need to watch the case to know what's going on with the case. Am I talking about the case? I'm talking about the verdict. I'm talking about what the entire appearance is going to be. And what do you think the brothers was all watching this case? It's a lot of brothers wasn't watching this case. What I do know for it is what? 3 people got hit, 1 person lived. And the one person that lived gave a different testimony. The two people that got hit, they said one guy, they gave his criminal history, and he had a pedo case before, one of the guys he was hit. Then another guy, he had a yeah, you're right, B. Wyatt. Cal Jackson would have been laid on the streets. And we wouldn't have seen Cal Jackson going to court, trial, or nothing else. If not, he'd been wheelchaired for life somewhere in a hospital. If this was Cal Jackson. So I just gave them the example, fully explaining why we feel the way that we do. Black people, they look at it and see the double standard because they know if that was us, it would be a different song that they're singing. Ain't no, we're going to go by the book. There is no self-defense. Look at the tape. Look at the angles. Crying testimony in court isn't going to get us anything. We already know that. So people are pissed because that double standard is still going to exist. So you just gave them the okay to carry assault rifles and march down the streets and do this. And they get to go home to their families. Meanwhile, somebody got to go to court to prove somebody broke in their house and hit them, and they got to go to jail for it. It's like, where is the justice? Anywhere. So they're going to attach that directly. They're going to attach it directly to the source. He had so many charges against him that they thought at least one or at least a few should stick. I think a curfew charge or something small. He didn't get to be acquitted on all charges is pretty shocking, to say the least. Needless to say, he can never come back to Kenosha. You might as well forget that. They ain't gonna play with that out here. Mm-mm. The Second Amendment. I'm finna go to the Second Amendment place right now. We got a Second Amendment place over here. I'm all about the Second Amendment, but the Second Amendment doesn't have a color. The Second Amendment don't say one race get to do something and another race don't. Just remember that amendment is for all Americans. All Americans. Not just one race of Americans. So just understand that. You just said, hey, same way you back that Second Amendment right now, when you see something go down again in that street in the same way, and that's Kyle Jackson out there, just remember, y'all want you to defend Kyle Jackson the way you just defended Rittenhouse. Now, my thing is, And the question I have for people who keep talking about the right to defend yourself, I have no problem with the Second Amendment right. A right to bear arms. So I'm going to ask you, because maybe you all would know better than all of us. You guys should probably know. To have a right to bear arms, you must have a card. A firearms owner's identification card. I know because I'm right next door to Wisconsin. Even though mine's in Illinois, I'm right next door to Wisconsin, right down the street from Kenosha. You must possess a license. Now tell me, as a former NRA member, right here, I'm a former NRA member. I was there when Heston was there. I got out when I realized they wasn't going to protect my black ass. So I got the hell out of the NRA. So, someone said you don't need a permit for a long gun. That's mostly shotguns, right? But I don't think a shotgun was used in this instance, was it? Long guns are not assault rifles. I'm quite sure of that. And I'm quite sure this person did not have a license to carry such a weapon. Am I correct? Did this person, I'm a person that didn't watch the trial, I'm just going on a hunch. Did this person have a license to carry the weapon that was in place? I'm asking you guys, because you guys watched it. I'm the person that didn't watch the case now. He had the license for an automatic rifle. So he had a license for an automatic rifle, right? Was it in the state of Wisconsin? Did he have a license in the state of Wisconsin for that firearm? Was that firearm in his name? I didn't watch the case. Somebody please tell me. Somebody said nope. So no, it wasn't his gun. The mother got the weapon. So it's in the mother's name. He has a license for it. How? Because I think he's underage. Got his mother's weapon. And is he on the property in which the weapon is registered? Let's go through that. Is he on the property, or was he on the property the weapon was registered? No. He was not on the property in which the weapon was registered. He was out in the streets with this weapon. Are we going to agree there? Once again, we are not mentioning color. We're mentioning and going over the steps. Right? So he wasn't there. So he's on the streets. Now, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Didn't watch the case. But is there a concealed weapons license that you can have in the state of Wisconsin that gives you the authority to carry a automatic rifle up and down the street? For civilians? I think that exceeds the concealed carry law. Exactly. So you cannot get a carry and conceal license for an AR-15 out on the streets. So a civilian with an AR-15 on the streets, and it's not his weapon, it's in his mother's name, is so how do you win and get acquitted on all charges and claim self-defense? Now do you get it? Do I need to watch the case? Do I need to watch the case? Do I need to watch the case? Or did we just walk through the case of all facts, not even mentioning race, period? He don't have a license to have an AR-15 on the streets. It's not even, it's in his mother's name. How in the hell are you gonna claim self-defense and you're the one with the AR-15 on the streets? Not in your home. The streets. Where were you going? Who implored you to be on the streets marching up and down with an AR-15? And how old is he? 16? Oh my God. Oh my God. And he was acquitted on all charges. Oh my goodness. It can't get no more cut and dry than this. Yeah, they want to give him a curfew ticket. He beat that. He beat the curfew ticket. Oh my God. This world is crazy. Crazy. Now, if this was Cal Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, if this was Cal Jackson, a black man with an AR-15 walking down the streets in his mama's name, okay? She got the gun for her 16-year-old black son. He down the street with an AR-15. Two people come up and hit them. He go to court claiming self-defense. What happened to Cal Jackson, please? With all these Second Amendment people that's in this chat right now screaming, it's the Second Amendment. Would y'all be screaming that for old Cal Jackson? I don't think you'd say that about Cal Jackson. I think he would be called a menace to society. What was he doing out there with an AR-15? The double standard. Yeah, Kyle Jackson will be facing about 20 years for each count. And that's the problem we have here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the double standard. That is the problem. That is America's problem. That is the world's problem. What is good for the goose is supposed to be good for the gander. And we don't have that. And this just highlights and shines the problems with the system. So you just said this is the law, but watch how that law changes when it happens to somebody else of color. And until we stop seeing this indifference, we will always have this problem. So when people keep screaming race, 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 I just broke down everything in the case that should have been the case in the first place. That it wasn't his weapon. He had an AR-15. There's no concealed license for it, so he's not licensed to have it because it's not even his name. He's 16 years old with an assault rifle out in the streets, not at home where he can claim self-defense. He's protecting the house, and these people broke into the house or something. No, he's on the streets. So they came up on him, and he started hitting them with an assault rifle that's not his. It's his mom's. It's not in his name. It's in her name. So she should have been in court one. She should have been in court right there too. They should be charging her ass right now. I mean, if that's not cutting common sense, cut and dry. And that's the problem, is that we all are not surprised he got off. That's the problem right now in this world. We have laws, but they bend them for certain people. You know what they call that? And we've seen it happen. A judge has actually said this in a courtroom. Boys will be boys. That's what they call this. Black guys did less than this and got years in jail. White guys did it and they let them go home and do community service, do some little community service. And the judge said, well, you know, boys will be boys. And that was coined and phrased in every courtroom. Boys will be boys. And we've been saying it ever since. That was the judge's excuse and reason for letting those guys who did way more damage than those black kids did in their case. Similar cases, black guys got time, they got to go home to their families. And the judge, the reason why, he said, well, boys will be boys. What boys? So until we get rid of the double standard, the justice system will never work for you. So that's it. That's all.